Okay. I'm just hitting the wrong thing multiple times. I was really hoping that would be, an enemy that I could just... Ow. Ah! I keep launching my spells into the wall. It's annoying. I'm trying to, like, fire a spell off and then run. Oh, that's what the map does. I was wondering about that. Okay, well, that's fine. I think the Berserker's helmet's actually helping us a lot more than we thought it would. What the Berserker's helmet's supposed to do is, ow. The Berserker's helmet is supposed to increase your damage based on, like, when your health is low, but I think what it actually does is just the lower your health is, the more damage you do. It's about the same effect. But the, no! It doesn't work that way. It really is when you're low health. Because the meteor... Oh, maybe we're critting, or maybe it's just bonus damage. I don't know, hard to say. Okay, I'm tempted to get those air arrows as the final accompaniment. Okay. Actually, combo gloves don't do what I think they do. Basic Arcana have the extra... Huh. I was really expecting enemies to pop out there, so I was trying to bust up the trees before they showed up, and the answer is that's apparently not right. Funky. Okay. God, I love this move. Yeah, I don't know. I like the air stuff just about as much as I like fire breath. Because it just kind of royally destroys. Meteor still has its uses. That's gonna be one thing, actually, about this playthrough. Series, whatever. Okay. We want to get over here. Let's get rid of the combo gloves. They're useless. I don't remember what Idealist Mirror does, but we're gonna go Vampire Fangs. It actually doesn't impact as much, because max health is reduced, but since we have the Giant's Heart, they kind of balance out. But this means I am tanky and I heal after every kill. This is gonna be a solid run. Let's see. We're not done yet, though. Oh, well now they show up. I was wondering when they were gonna be here. Anyway, yeah, now we should be able to just completely decimate people. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go get that air arrow spell, seeing as we've maxed everything else out. Okay, Gust Volley. Because now we've got, except for my Flame Dash, we have a 100% air build. And this gives me yet more moves that I can use. I have no idea if that actually does bonus damage. Based on contact. There we go. Oh, shit, that didn't kill him. I guess it might not have to. There we go. Now! Missed. There we go. Yeah, but between the health orbs and the vampire healing, we should actually be, like, kind of invincible here. Didn't take him out, though. That's okay. Wow, that does damage. It does straight up, like, 40 damage. I don't know if that's crit or if that's, like, built in and stuff. Okay, so next thing we're probably gonna want to get rid of is that Berserker helmet. I don't know what else I'd get rid of. Okay, we're at 99, so we can leave. Oh. Huh. Weird. Okay, actually, come to think of it, let's get rid of the Berserker's helmet in favor of Freezing Familiar. Because having something that occasionally freezes enemies for me, super nice. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we're starting to get to the point where it might be a good idea to... Ow. Okay, he is, a bit punchy. But so am I. And I've got so many combos, it's not even funny. Just gotta make sure he doesn't... There we go. Perfect. Okay, we did actually take a little bit of damage, but still. But yeah, I think we're kind of hitting the edge of content. What is this? Oh, Cardus Prime. Now we're gonna keep the Meteor. Cardus... Let's see what Cardus Prime does again. Oh, it's this one. Cardus Prime has uses, but not enough for me. But yeah, I think we're hitting kind of the end of content with this game. I love it, don't get me wrong. I think it's just one of those where, you know, I've been playing this for what? By the end of this session, we're gonna be at like 13, 14 episodes, which really is actually kind of quite short compared to like what I do. Oh. Okay, nope, it's still going. We might go, even for like more. It really depends on how long this episode shapes up to be. And, you know, how much trouble we have. Like, if I can manage to make it to, like, 1 billion loops, well, obviously not 1 billion loops, but still. But we might actually unlock, like, every spell pretty soon. And that's not a big deal, don't get me wrong. It's just, to some degree, it's gonna be like, okay, should probably find a new game to play while I wait for this game to become fresh again. That's one of the bad fallbacks of early access. Okay, Amulet of Mayhem is good, really good. Rudra's Fan. Okay, let's see what we can drop. Okay, so for starters, we don't need that. Okay, Amulet of Mayhem is slightly more. Rudra's Fan, I have no idea what this does. I'm just gonna leave these items on the ground and we'll come back for it later. It's just one of those where we're kind of running out of spells to unlock, and obviously we've been doing the same level for multiple hours now, so at some point I think I'm just gonna put back burner this game and come back once they've like added yet more content. Because, don't get me wrong, I love this. This is a solid game. But this is the drawback of me playing something in early access compulsively. Okay, here we go. I guess I'll just break this while we wait for whatever it is to spawn. Oh, it's these guys. I do way too much damage. There we go. What is this? Okay, seismic entry and Tesla coil. Okay, well obviously seismic entry is kind of moot. Okay, let's get Rudra's Fan. What's that one do? Final hit of my Wind Slash Arcana is a super... Ooh. Well, it's better than Tesla coil, so we'll go with this. The interesting thing about the map is it makes it so you can teleport to every shop right from the get-go. I was wondering about that. In the past, we've had it so we could just teleport there freely, and I was always wondering. I actually really dig Rudra's Fan. Works. It actually is going to make my basic attack worth something, sort of. We're also getting a lot of health orbs here. Having the same problem with Astroneer. Yeah, that's part of the reason why we haven't played Astroneer, again. Apart from, you know, half the guys not wanting to play with me anymore. Let's see. I love Astroneer, don't get me wrong, but the game just launched really early in its dev cycle, and so while it's fun, there's very little to do in it once you've kind of like figured the entirety of the game out and you've got the basic resources and flown to a new planet. It's true. I mean, this is true of like a lot of early access games. I was having this problem with I was actually knocking spells into the other guy, ricocheting off the special. Okay, there we go. But like this is a very consistent problem with early access games where they will release, they'll get like a lot of good marks, but then people will be like, man, there's like nothing left to do. What's other good examples of games like this? Subnautica to some degree. Like, kind of once you understand the basics of Subnautica, you're like, alright, well, I've seen every lab, I've messed with every fish, now what? And the answer is, well, that's it. Okay, so let's drop Rouge's fan. Let's pick up the Dark Katana. I forget what this one does. Okay, Dark Katana is melee related. Let's go with Rouge's fan. Tesla Coil could be kind of interesting, but I think having a ranged attack would be good. But yeah, what other games are really early? Oh, Oxygen not included. The game, like, I milked that game for all it's worth. Part of the reason why, like, part of the reason why Oxygen not included got so much out of me is just because the game is so hard, comparatively. So go figure it's gonna last a little bit longer on YouTube. But, you know, as it stands, it's still a relatively early on game. And so, until, like, more patches come out, the game itself is gonna be... the game is gonna feel kind of empty for a lot of people, especially me. And it's kind of one of those where it's just like, they actually knew that people were gonna see it as empty and lose interest pretty quick, which is why they made it so you can only buy it through like a secret link on their forums. Except for the YouTubers, us YouTubers found it and were like, a thing! And we ruined it for everybody. And that's how it generally works, actually. But like, that game released too early. What other games released too early? I mean, everything that goes early access released far too early. Tower of Guns ran into that issue, though I could kind of push through it because the game was hard and really solid. Hopefully we don't run into the same problem with Mother Gunship. I should see if I can get access to that relatively early, or at least relatively whenever he feels like giving it to me. But yeah, Tower of Guns was maybe a little bit premature. You know, I'm realizing this now. There's no reason why I should hundo these maps. Once I find the boss, I'm just gonna continue on. Let's see, thermal upgrades out for alpha. Yeah, but that's not enough. Like, even if they fine-tune things and add some extra features, like, I need a lot of extra content. Ow, ow, ow. Bad spot, bad spot. Okay. He cornered me while I was trying to take out the trees. Thank you, Murder Fairy, for making this boss fight much more easier. I love the fact that this guy actually has like a stun period. That feels really good. Oh, that went bad. Yeah, we hit him prematurely. Okay, there we go. Perfect. And yeah, ideally we get up to like 50 crystals. Okay, and I could get homing flares. What's homing flares do again? The idea of it was, oh, it's this one. No. I mean, part of it is we just want as many air moves as we can stack Just so I can destroy. What other games were released too early? The demo for Dragon Quest Builders. I know that that doesn't count at all. Considering, like, it obviously was a demo and stuff like that. But, the demo for that game released too early for my taste, and I had to, like, milk it for as much content as I could possibly milk. Which sounds really weird, and stuff like that. What other games? A lot of roguelikes. Oh man. Vagante, Catacomb Kids. Like, all of my old staples, lasted, way too long for their own goods. Ow. There we go. That was risky. These guys get a little bit, chargy, and it's an issue. I'm also not used to my tornado move being a Y. But all of my, like, old roguelikes. Oh yeah, No Man's Sky. Absolutely No Man's Sky released way too early. I'm really worried about Destiny 2 actually being way too early. Pamela. Oh yeah, jeez. Pamela, they could have at least had a closed beta where they, to find out that, by the way, this game runs like ass. And then, like, and it's not even like, you know, just kind of like fixable ass. This is like, man, this ass is not like, has not walked in years kind of ass. That was a really cool game, marred by the fact that it barely run, and was way too dark for its own good. Yeah, No Man's Sky. Like I was saying, I'm kind of worried about Destiny 2, just because, you know, the last time it was a bit premature too, and if they kind of botch Destiny 2, then there goes a lot of their brand loyalty. They built enough of it that they could probably survive, but they need to bring in new people. Because, I mean, it's like WoW expansions. You bring in people, and you're like, alright, we have, you know, the MMO's popular again. But nobody sticks around anymore because, you know, the magic's gone. Because, yeah, I really like No Man's Sky, for example, but with all the funding and the money that they had, they really could have just waited. It's actually part of the reason why I'm so forgiving of Cube World, if you guys have heard of that fiasco. Because Cube World, you know, they released too early, sort of. But, well, I don't know. I guess really, I guess I'm just glad that, ow. I'm just glad that, was his name Wolney or whatever? I forget, what his name specifically is, but the fact that he was like, okay, this seriously is like Juggernaut's heart. Interesting. Okay, let's pick that up. Okay, so now we have even more HP. Perfect. Okay, WoW has been patching every 2 months, busting balls to keep that magic there. Good for them! I really like, oh yeah, Pit People. I really like, Blizzard. I really like World of Warcraft. Unfortunately, I'm more interested in them making, like, World of Warcraft 2 with a modern combat system. Than, like, playing more WoW just because that combat system does not, enthrall me the way it used to. We're in trouble. Okay, we're less in trouble. That was bad. That was a situation where I couldn't get across the pits. Ow. Whoa. That guy always hurts. Okay, we're fine though. I think he gave some Healy things. I don't know. One way or another, we're actually doing kind of fine. Oh, I found the boss chamber already. That's kind of handy. And bam. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, yeah, so Pit People was mentioned. Pit People is kind of a weird thing for me, because on one hand it was released too early, on the other hand, like, it had a nice finality to it that I could stop playing and not feel bad about it. like, yeah, I ran out of content, but I got a good 20 episodes out of it, and I felt satisfied when I hit the ending. It's kind of like this. I'm feeling satisfied with the ending. You know, like if I were to stop playing this after this episode, and I think I'm gonna get a little bit further just because I want to mess around with whatever new spells we pick up. But I wouldn't feel disappointed, because this game is legitimately one of the best roguelikes I have ever played. You know, maybe only behind Binding of Isaac, if only because it's hard to beat that level of, like, variety and stuff like that. And if this game can get there, then it's golden forever, probably. Let's see, I want a Warcraft RPG, not an MMO, just a generic RPG. You know, I would love to play that. Okay, this is gonna sound a little bit weird, but I would love to play a, like, if you remixed World of Warcraft and its entire plot and story and stuff like that as an RPG. Maybe multiplayer, but, like, you know, like a co-op RPG that people can play. I think that would actually be really fun. Because, yeah, my biggest problem with WoW is it's old. Okay, this is a bad situation. Luckily, we've got more than enough resources to deal with it, but, like, Jesus. That's 3 treasure chests? I've never done this before. But yeah, I know it's a pipe dream. It's just like, I like the lore. Wait, there's a treasure chest over here. What? Ah, come on. Or maybe I hit it and it just disappeared on me. That was cool though. But yeah, I like the lore. I like the story of WoW. It's just like the grind and the datedness of it, combat and visually. You know, it's kind of hard to get into at this point. But I would like 100% play like a remixed version if they just released it as like a big ol' RPG and, you know, charged me, hell, I'd actually be down if they charged me for like each DLC again if it was like, if it played good enough. I'm always kind of that way though. If you can make a game good, I don't care like how much I have to pay for it eventually-ish. And that's kind of always how it's been. Obviously, like, don't fleece me too much, but oh. Don't fleece me too much, but like, you know, if the game's legitimately fun, I don't mind dropping some money on it. But it's also one of those where I guess I'm a grown adult, so game prices are a little bit less problematic for me. Oh, that guy did not have a good time. Actually don't know what WoW looks like. It's old. I mean, you can take a look at it. Their visuals and their textures are amazing, but the game's engine simply cannot handle like more intricate combat or character models. Like, they look nice, but it's just kind of empty after a certain point. I don't know. Like, it's part of the reason why I'd, like, rather play ow, wow, he led with that initially. That's a new one. Ow, ooh, owie, 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 we're stuck. Okay, well, that's okay, I've got combos for days, and we can stay away from him now. There we go. As long as he takes out the trees, life gets easier on me. And honestly, I can recoup my losses after I kill this guy. Yeah! Let's see, would I pay 5 grand for a game that was perfect? Okay. There are obvious limits. Let's see, is he the only main boss? Yeah, unfortunately, they're only, they've only implemented one boss in this game so far, which is part of the reason why I'm even talking about, you know, losing steam on games and, you know, games being released too early. Now, I will admit, this game is actually kind of a special case. The only reason why I even have access to this is Kickstarter. and I'm beta testing this for them. So, it's entirely my fault, getting, burnt out on this game. And do not ever hold it against these guys, for, like, quote-unquote releasing the game early or anything like that, because they didn't. I cheated. I'm sure if I had asked nicely, I would have been able to get content for it early, too. But still. A game that's literally perfect but only has 80 hours of content, how much would you pay for that? God, it would really have to depend. Like, the problem is, if it were to justify that price, X game with 80 hours of content would have to be... It would have to, like, drive me off of video games entirely. It would have to be, like, such a euphoric existence within the gaming industry that it literally, is beyond compare. I could see myself potentially being willing to drop that money, except for obviously this is my job. But you know, if I were just like a normal person, I could actually see myself, you know, dropping a couple grand on a game that is so good it literally invalidates video gaming for me. But that is such an impossible fantasy edge case that there's no way that would ever happen. But I mean, like, for Destiny, you know, I dropped for Destiny 1, I dropped a fair amount of money on that game, and I had an appropriate amount. I forgot. These guys are jerks, and they can teleport now. You know, I got what I paid for. Felt pretty good about it. It needs more variety, obviously, and I'm hoping they fix that for Destiny 2. Ow. He has more friends. But you know, that game was not cheap. And... Ow. Ooh, we are getting smacked. I'm really glad that we have our own self-heal. Ah, shit. Okay, that worked. Took a little while. Ah, he's got a homing thing. Okay. Yeah, we're starting to enter the doghouse. I'm making some mistakes, and these guys are whipping out some, like, extra maneuvers that I don't know about. But yeah, I've dropped a lot of money on Destiny, and to some degree, probably shouldn't have, because it's never hit YouTube. But I don't know, it was a fun experience, and I can't wait to try it again, and actually properly record it. We might still, get that series, but... There we go. We're kicking ass. Yeah, let's just go for the shop. I don't think there's anything more. I'm trying to think of, like, other games that have been... not released too early. I mean, there's tons of them. There's tons of early access games that hit early access. Oh, I was reading Twitter the other day, and I was reading Twitter. Actually, it was earlier today. Now that I'm thinking about it. Uh-oh. And a game that I covered literally years ago, cropped up on my feed, and the developer was talking about adding X new feature. And I was floored because he was still working on it. Because it was one of those games where it released too early. Maybe that's part of the reason why this whole thing is stuck in my mind. Because I was like, wait, you're still working on this? And I felt terrible because to some degree I think I was one of the only people that even bothered to cover the game. But I guess they made enough money to pay for it all. Holy crap, I got tons of money here. But you know, I felt bad because it's just like, this is such a, like, edge case game that nobody's even gonna hear about anymore, and because it released so early on Steam, by the time that, like, it's finally done, everybody's gonna be like, wait, what? Didn't like, actually, come to think of it, didn't Chasm kind of do that? Is Chasm on Steam yet, or are they still developing that? I have no idea, actually. I'd love to look into that, because I know Chasm sent out, like, a bunch of press copies. That's actually really weird that I'm getting into this, thinking about this now, because there's, like, so many instances of people talking about this lately that it's, like, it's messing with my head, because I was talking to Blitzkriegler about, what game? Forts. Forts comes out in in a week? It's like, mid-month here. What was the game? Chronicon. Sorry, that was the one where the developer was, like, so unknown that I covered, like, years ago, and nobody's gonna know about it when it finally comes out. But, I was talking to Blitzkriegler, and he was talking about Forts, and him and a bunch of other YouTubers had played the crap out of it last week. And that by the time the game finally releases, no YouTubers are going to be covering it. So when it actually, like, finally comes out, nobody's even going to know about the game. And they were kind of, like, making fun of the developer, being like, yeah, that was a complete mistake. And I'm like, that's kind of douchey of you. It's the one thing I don't like about YouTube to some degree, is there's a lot of YouTubers that really are in it. I mean, they're in it for the fun, don't get me wrong. But it kind of feels like they're in it, despite, like, the developers and the games that they play. And, you know, there's kind of, like, zero loyalty, if that makes sense. It always bugs me a little bit. I'm not saying that, like, Blitz is one of these people, but I do talk to people occasionally that, you know, are kind of in the same vein. Who are just, like, so mercenary about the games they play that it's just like, man, do you even enjoy what you do, or is it just a paycheck? Which is part of the reason why I probably get so frustrated whenever anybody's like, you just play games for money. It's just like, no, I don't. If I did, I'd be like, if I did, I'd be like swapping games out left and right. You know, I'd only do like 2 or 3 episodes and go from there. But yeah, I feel loyal to every developer that has ever, like, been super friendly to me and, like, helps me out and stuff like that. Like, I actually feel really bad about stopping Orcish Inn, because I do actually want to finish Orcish Inn at some point. Because that game was actually really good, just too early on in development. And needs some more time, but that's okay. I'll come back to it when it hits Steam. But, okay, there we go. It comes pre-stunned. Handy. Love it when that happens. Oh, I love being a wind combo person for this. Makes my life so much easier. But like, these devs, for example. Ow. That one always hurts the most. Okay, but, like, the developers of this game specifically, if they were to ask me, like, years from now, hey, can you do, like, you know, 10 or so episodes because the game's finally out? I would absolutely say yes, immediately, because this is an awesome game, and I'm glad that the developers, were nice enough to give me the opportunity to play this. And, I mean, to be fair, I checked money at them to get the opportunity to do so, so I guess it's a little bit different from what I usually do. Ow. I wish dodges would actually make it so I just could pass straight through them. I guess that would be a little bit powerful, but still. Or, yeah, somebody in chat just mentioned Albino Lullaby. How many of you guys saw Albino Lullaby on my channel? Probably not as many. Or not so many, but, like, I'm really looking forward to that next game. And I always feel like some of these people that are, like, trying to game YouTube for the, like, most amount of views they possibly can, I don't think they give a shit. It always bugs me a little bit. And obviously, like, this is, like, just a skewed perspective from somebody that plays games obsessively. What is this? Oh, these are just combo gloves all over again. Yeah, Albino Lullaby. When did I play Albino Lullaby? I must have had, like, Jeez, I must have had, like, close to 10,000 subscribers. Oh, really? That's what happened. Okay, sorry. I try not to bring this sort of thing into stream, YouTube, whatever. But apparently, seeing as I'm talking about Albino Lullaby, their lead coder left, leaving them with a mostly broken engine that they had to remake. Holy shit, that is really bad. Actually, had kind of same problem happened with Astroneer, seeing as we were talking about that a little while ago. One of the artists on Astroneer, oh crap, wrong direction. One of the artists on Astroneer actually died, if I recall. Like a couple days ago. And it was like totally unexpected by everybody. And that's gotta set them back like ages. Hope they finish the game. I mean, I would, probably. If like, if one of my friends died while I was in the middle of making a game with them, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm gonna finish this come hell or high water now. Remember that happened to Monty at Rooster Teeth. They're still continuing with Ruby though, right? I heard talks that they weren't going to originally. But I know they're obviously still doing some amount of stuff with Ruby, because they've been merchandising it plenty. It's such a destructive move. It's beautiful. Okay, so Season 3 just finished. Yeah, seriously, losing Monty was a huge blow for Rooster Teeth. And, like, it would make sense if the guy was, like, in his 50s or 60s, or, like, you know, very clearly had, like, a super unhealthy lifestyle. But instead, he's just, like, this mid-30s guy with the family and everything, and it's just like, well, that was random and incredibly shitty. And I always feel awful whenever that happens. Like, there's a couple of YouTubers that have died over the years, and most of them are kind of completely random and awful. You know, there was that singer a couple months back. Or was that a year ago now? I have no idea. There was the one Borderlands guy, but that's because he was drunk driving and got hit by a train, which sucks, but it's also like, dude, drunk driving's like the worst thing ever.